The life story of Siti Khadijah, the first wife of the Prophet Muhammad, begins from her birth to her death in the holy city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Around the year 555 AD, a beautiful and radiant baby girl was born. She was named Siti Khadijah, binti Khuwailid, which means a noble and honorable woman. She was the daughter of Khuwailid bin Asad, a man known for his courage and justice, and Fatimah bint Zaidah, a woman known for her beauty and kindness. Siti Khadijah came from the Bani Asad tribe, one of the most prominent tribes of the Quraysh tribe. The Quraysh tribe was the most influential tribe in Mecca because they were the guardians of the Kaaba, the holy house for Muslims. The Kaaba is a very important place for the Arabs because they believe that the Kaaba was the first house built to worship Allah. Therefore, the Quraysh tribe had a very high status among the other Arab tribes. Since childhood, Siti Khadijah has shown extraordinary talent and potential. She grew up to be a beautiful, intelligent, and virtuous woman. She inherited the good qualities of both her parents and also acquired their wealth and social status. She had many possessions, including camels, horses, gold, silver, and jewels. She also had many followers and servants who were loyal to her. Siti Khadijah was not only known for her beauty, but also for her wisdom and kindness. She was a woman who was highly respected among the Quraysh tribe. She was known as a generous woman, always helping the poor and needy. She was also known as a brave, independent, and compassionate woman. She was a perfect example of a Quraysh woman. Despite coming from a wealthy and influential family, Siti Khadijah remained humble and always tried to help others. He was not arrogant or haughty, but polite and friendly. He did not differentiate people based on tribe, class, or religion, but respected everyone as God's creatures. He did not waste his wealth on vain things, but used it for things that were beneficial and noble. One of the beneficial and noble things that Siti Khadijah did was trading. She was a reliable and successful trader. She had many trade caravans that traveled to various countries, such as Syria, Yemen, Iraq, and Egypt. She sold goods such as silk, spices, perfume, and jewelry. She also bought goods such as wheat, dates, grapes, and honey. She made a huge profit from this trade, and she always paid taxes and zakat honestly. Siti Khadijah not only took care of her own business, but also helped other traders who needed capital or assistance. He often lent his wealth to merchants who did not have capital to trade. He also often provided assistance to merchants who experienced losses or difficulties. He never charged interest or forced them to pay his debts. He was always fair and generous to them. Siti Khadijah was an extraordinary woman. She was a woman who had it all: beauty, intelligence, wealth, status, and kindness. She was a woman who was loved and admired by many. However, she was also a woman who longed for something deeper, true and everlasting love. At the young age of 25, Siti Khadijah experienced deep grief. In 575 AD, her mother, Fatimah bint Zaidah, died. Losing her mother was a big blow for Khadijah. She felt the loss of a figure who had been a shelter and a source of wisdom. 10 years later, in 585 AD, her father, Khuwailid bin Asad, also died. Grief again enveloped Khadijah's heart. Both of her beloved parents were gone forever. However, Khadijah remained strong and tried to continue her life. Siti Khadijah had been married twice before marrying the Prophet Muhammad. Her first marriage was with Atik bin Abid, a wealthy merchant from the Makhzum tribe. From this marriage, Khadijah had a son named Abdullah. However, the marriage did not last long because Atik died when Abdullah was still young. Khadijah became a young widow with a child. Her second marriage was with Abu Halah bin Zurara, a wealthy merchant from the Thaqif tribe. From this marriage, Khadijah had 3 children, namely Hind, Al-Hala, and Zainab. However, this marriage also did not last long because her husband died when their children were still small. Khadijah became a young widow again with 4 children. Siti Khadijah took care of and raised her children with great love. She also took care of her business with full responsibility. She was a good mother and a great trader, but she also felt lonely and longed for true love. She longed for a man who could be her friend, companion, and life partner, a man who could give her love and protection, a man who could guide her to truth and happiness. One day, while trading, Siti Khadijah met a man named Prophet Muhammad. He was a trader known for his honesty. This meeting was a turning point in Khadijah's life. Khadijah was impressed by the honesty and integrity of Prophet Muhammad. She saw something special in Prophet Muhammad, something rarely found in other men, something that made her heart tremble. She decided to entrust some of her wealth to Prophet Muhammad to trade. Prophet Muhammad agreed and set off for Syria, accompanied by a slave of Khadijah named Maysara. After some time had passed since their first meeting, Siti Khadijah got to know Prophet Muhammad better. She heard many stories about Prophet Muhammad's honesty and kindness from Maysara, who witnessed firsthand how Prophet Muhammad traded fairly and honestly. She also heard many stories about Prophet Muhammad's miracles and special qualities from other people who admired and respected Prophet Muhammad. She saw extraordinary honesty and trustworthiness in the Prophet Muhammad. These qualities made Khadijah even more convinced that the Prophet Muhammad was the right man for her. With courage and a firm decision, Siti Khadijah decided to propose to the Prophet Muhammad. This was an unusual decision at that time, because usually a man proposed to a woman. Khadijah had fallen in love with the Prophet Muhammad because of his honesty and integrity. However, she felt hesitant to express her feelings directly to the Prophet Muhammad because of the difference in their status and age. Khadijah was 40 years old, while the Prophet Muhammad was 25 years old. So Khadijah decided to ask for help from her best friend, Nafisa binti Munya. Nafisa is a clever and wise person. He met the Prophet Muhammad and told about Khadijah's feelings. Nafisa said to Prophet Muhammad, I have come with news of a great, holy and noble woman. Basically, she is very perfect. I can deliver Khadijah's proposal. Nafisa did not ask Prophet Muhammad to answer directly to at that time. Prophet Muhammad should be given time to think and reflect on this matter. This step is wise because it allows Prophet Muhammad to reflect and make decisions without haste. Then, the Prophet Muhammad and Khadijah's proposal were discussed. Khadijah, who was rich, intelligent, and noble, who was honest, kind, and generous, was a woman who could be his life partner. The Prophet Muhammad asked permission from his uncle, Abu Talib, to marry Khadijah. Abu Talib was the closest person to the Prophet Muhammad because he had taken care of the Prophet Muhammad since he was a child, after the Prophet Muhammad's father and grandfather died. Abu Talib approved of the Prophet Muhammad's decision because he knew that Khadijah was a good and dignified woman. Finally, both the Prophet Muhammad and Khadijah then discussed with their respective extended families to follow up on what Nafisa had said. After careful consideration, the two extended families finally agreed to marry their children. The Prophet Muhammad was accompanied by his uncle, Abu Talib and Hamza, leaving for Siti Khadijah's house. They were greeted by Siti Khadijah's uncle, Amr bin Asad. Abu Talib was appointed as the spokesman. Prophet Muhammad immediately delivered a sermon about the purpose of their arrival at Siti Khadijah's residence. Abu Talib said, "All praise is for Allah who created man from dust and made him in pairs. We have come to your house, O Bani Asad, to propose a noble woman named Khadijah bint Khuwailid, to be married to our nephew, Prophet Muhammad bin Abdullah. He is an honest, pious and trustworthy man. He is a person worthy of Khadijah." Amr bin Asad replied, "All praise is to Allah who has made us brothers. We are honored by your coming, O Banu Hashim, to our house. We are willing to marry Khadijah bint Khuwailid to your nephew, the Prophet Muhammad bin Abdullah. He is a good man, and Khadijah is a woman suitable for him." Their marriage took place in 595 AD because Khadijah's father had died. This marriage tied the Prophet Muhammad with Khadijah, who was full of respect. They went through joy and sorrow together. Khadijah was always there for the Prophet Muhammad, supporting him in every step. Khadijah's love for the Prophet Muhammad was very great, and vice versa. Their love teaches us that both of them had a strong relationship, supporting each other in life and the struggle of Islam. Since then, Siti Khadijah devoted everything to support the Prophet Muhammad in upholding the Islamic religion. She used the wealth she had to help preach Islam. In addition, with her sharp mind, Khadijah also gave very valuable advice and ideas to the Prophet Muhammad. And most importantly, she used her energy to stand by Prophet Muhammad through every challenge they faced. Siti Khadijah was the one who calmed Prophet Muhammad's heart when he first received revelation as a messenger of Allah. At that time, Prophet Muhammad was afraid and confused. However, Khadijah was there for him. She calmed Prophet Muhammad and assured him that he was a messenger of Allah and that he had an important mission. Khadijah was a strong and loving woman. She was always there for Prophet Muhammad, supporting him in every step he took. She was a brave woman who was not afraid to stand by her husband through challenges and difficulties. In the years leading up to her death, Siti Khadijah felt that she did not have much longer to live. She asked her daughter to give her the shroud that Prophet Muhammad would be wrapped in when he died. She was a woman who was highly respected and loved by everyone who knew her, especially after Siti Khadijah took her last breath. Mecca felt the loss of a woman who had given so much to the city and the religion of Islam. Now she was gone forever. Her weak and tired body finally rested, and she was buried in the Mala cemetery, which stretches across Jabal Asaidah Hill, not far from the Grand Mosque in Mecca. The Mala cemetery is the final resting place for many important people in Islamic history, and now Siti Khadijah is one of them. Jabal Asaidah Hill seems to be a silent witness to the passing of a great woman. During the funeral, the Prophet Muhammad descended into the grave and tenderly laid his wife's body. Tears flowed down his cheeks, reflecting the depth of his grief and loss. Although his heart was broken, he remained strong because he knew that Khadijah was now in a better place. She was a woman who chose to devote her wealth, mind, and energy to the religion she believed in. She was a woman who chose to stand by her husband, even if it meant facing the world. Such is the life story of Siti Khadijah, the first woman of the Prophet Muhammad, from birth to death. Hopefully this story can inspire and provide a lesson for all of us.